Hi students, so welcome to the discussion of Daily Nuggets 4, and this time the theme is the international society. So I have picked up a passage for which was written after the Nobel Peace Prize was awarded, and these were the 5 questions. Let us have a quick look at the questions. Which of the following is the main idea of the passage? So main idea of the passage is content plus judgment. Author has used all of the following tones in the passage except. So question on tone. Which of the following, if true, strengthens the author's argument? Author of the passage is most likely to agree with. Maria Ressa and Dmitry Muratov from Philippines and Russia are representatives of all journalists. What could be representatives of all journalists referring to? So these were the 5 questions, and the 5 answers are already mentioned here. Let us look at the passage. A very small passage, something very similar to the length of the logical reasoning passage that you will find in CLAT, and you know the language is also not very difficult, neither very easy. So I am sure that you must have read the passage. Let me again try to tell you what are the key elements and how to read a particular passage. Now, if I read the first line, with democracy under threat across the globe from various quarters, it is refreshing that Nobel Prize Committee felt obliged to award its coveted Peace Prize for 2021 to 2 reporters. Now, if you read the first line, and if you recall the kind of passages that we have done in our previous 3 nugget session, daily nuggets session, this passage is different because here the author is giving his strong opinion right at the beginning of the passage, unlike in the previous one where the authors used to set the context and then used to give the opinion. Now these are the important elements. So if I look at the passage, this passage has less of context. Very less of context is given. Author is giving his opinion. So almost entire passage is author's opinion, and the things in yellow are the one that are more important according to me. So first line is actually the setting up the opinion of the author, which he is reiterating again and again in the passage. So author is saying that it is good that Nobel Peace Prize has been awarded to 2 reporters. And these are some factual information about the reporters and why author believes that this is important. So author has then argued that. And this is the context. Democracy and freedom of the press are facing increasingly adverse condition, even in this time and age when many have started thinking the times of suppressing expression were over, right? Very less of context in the passage. And this context actually tells that why this award is important, because democracy and freedom of press are facing increasingly adverse condition, and that is why to award the Peace Prize to 2 reporters is welcome gesture according to the author. Then if I read this line, this selection by the committee is of immense significance as it will serve to draw global attention to the imminent and relentless threats that various strongmen pose to the freedom of expression in their respective countries. Again, author is telling that why this is important, why this is significant. He is saying that this is good. Let us read the second paragraph. As attacks on journalists in many countries have demonstrated lately, it is important to send a clear message to those who want to strangle the media that without free expression, no country can have a strong democracy. Again, author's opinion that it is important to send clear message. Reiteration of what he said in the last line of the first paragraph. Then all these things are sort of explanation of the opinion that he has given in the beginning of the second paragraph. This is a context sort of that totalitarianism is on the rise and the forces of darkness are threatening fundamental rights such as freedom of expression. You know, repetition of the idea, same thing getting repeated. Last paragraph, intolerance is increasing in societies around the globe, and in this situation journalists like Ressa and Muratov are beacons of courage and hope for journalists everywhere, something that he has said previously also. And in the last line, again, there is opinion that protection of free speech should be our priority now, and any negligence in this matter could be lethal for intellectual and political growth of our future generation. Now, if you look at the organization of the passage, as I said, it's entirely opinionated passage. Almost entire passage is author's opinion. The way he has built up his opinion, he has given less of logic and he has repeated the same points again and again in you know in different parts of the passage. So less of logic, less of facts, repetition of the same idea again and again. Author is trying to convince that these are difficult times. There are several countries where strong men are posing threat to the democracy, and that is why this award to two reporters is very, very significant. So this is the organization of the passage. Now, if after the organization, if I have to just summarize it, I have also included summary in this particular nuggets. Author talks about significance of an event in the present context, suggests what more should be done. So this is a basic summary. What is the main idea? Content. Content is Nobel Peace Prize of 2021. What is author's judgment? Author is saying it is a good thing. It's refreshing. It is a significant as it is message to those who pose threat to freedom of expression and strangles free media. Protection of free speech should be priority. What is the writing style? Argumentative, opinionated. Author is trying to persuade us that this is good, right? So if I look a very simple passage, but you know, a passage where author has given lots of logic and facts and time and again repeated the same thing that he wants to convey. Let us look at the question. So this is the question. Which of the following is the main idea of the passage? To highlight the significance of awarding Nobel Peace Prize Committee to two reporters who have bravely stood for the freedom of expression against the strongmen. Yeah, this looks a very good option. This actually is the answer also. Let us look at the other options also. To showcase how intolerance is increasing around the globe under the influence of totalitarian government and to garner support for free media. Now, why this is not the answer? Because if you see what's our main idea? Main idea is it's about Nobel Peace Prize content part, and the judgment part is it is good, it is significant that it has been awarded to two people. That's the main idea. This is true but not relevant as per the passage. This may be true that intolerance is increasing, right? And there are totalitarian governments, and an author is seeking support for free media. But is this the purpose for which the passage is written? These are more of the context or through which author has built his main judgment. That is, it is good that it has been awarded to two reporters. So this is true but irrelevant trap. See, to highlight that if we become negligent and don't protect free speech now, intellectual and political growth of our future generation will be in danger. Again, something which is mentioned in the passage, but definitely not the main idea. Author has said that if we become negligent, then intellectual and political growth of our future generation will be in danger. But this is not the main idea. He has said that if we do his main idea, that this is just a consequence that he is saying that if we don't act now, then this may happen. To show that time has now come for the media to stand in unison and send a clear message to those who want to strangle the media. Again, you know, rotten also, and to certain extent true, but not something for which the passage is written in the passage and a particular place that we have to send a clear message and we should stand united, something of that sort, but definitely not the main idea. So all the four options, if you'll see, you know, related to what is being mentioned in the passage, and this type of question many people do get wrong, where they say I zeroed upon two options but marked the wrong one. Understand what question is asking. B, C, and D may be true but irrelevant because that's not what question is asking you. Author has used all of the following tones in the passage except sarcasm. Author has not used sarcasm anywhere in the passage. He is very direct with whatever he is saying. He is appreciative of the Nobel Peace Prize Committee, that's for sure. He is critical. He is critical at the places where he is saying that a strongmen are posing the freedom of are posing threat to the freedom of expression, and about totalitarianism and the forces of darkness. So he has been critical in that aspect. Admonishing means warning people. So that part is also given in the last part. He has sort of warned people, admonished that if we don't act now, future generation will land in problems. Sarcasm is not there. Next, which of the following, if true, strengthens the argument? As attacks on journalists are becoming more brazen across the world, from dismemberment to abductions, firing, and even murder, the irrational hatred against journalists is mounting. So the statement says that attacks are becoming more common, as attacks are becoming more common, and despite that, an irrational hatred is also in the rise against the journalist, right? So let us see. First, in several countries, journalists have started attacking the politicians through the might of the pen. Is it related to the argument as such? The argument is talking about that there is attack on the journalist, and I cannot. I mean, if I say that. The journalists are also attacking the politician. Is it strengthening the argument in any way? This is no way related to the argument at all. So this can't be the answer. Second, a recent survey reveals that several youth wants to make career in journalism, a result which looks irrational. A recent survey reveals that several youth wants to make career in journalism. So author is saying that there is an irrational hatred against journalists. So the first part, if a survey tells me that that the youth wants to make career in journalism, may weaken the argument, but I have to find something which is strengthens. Only the first part, mind it, only the first part would have weakened it, which tells me that there is not hatred, but actually people want to make career in journalism, right? So so this is weakening, this is no way strengthening the argument. Plus, any which way, the second part, a result which looks irrational. This neither strengthens, this neither weakens. In fact, the presence of the 4-5 line makes the option irrelevant itself. So even this cannot be the answer. That's why answer is option number D. What I have done here is that I have set a trap because I have picked up word irrational, which is given here, right? And I have picked up word journalism, and I have made an option around it. Because I know that many people, just by looking at the word irrational journalism, will mark it as the answer, and a survey reveals so very tempting things. So that is why I have deliberately framed this option. I hope you did not fall into this trap. Next, author of the passage is most likely to agree with. Now, what is author's opinion or things related to author's judgment? He is very appreciative of the fact, and he has said that we need to take care, so on and so forth. Authoritarianism may come under more than one form. Is it given in the passage that authoritarianism may come under more than one form? At least not directly in the form of the in the areas where we said that these are the judgment of the author, but we have to check. Sometimes show of support is necessary to protect the principles. Okay, there may be difference between the reality and what many people perceive. Now, all the three are given in the passage, but not in the form of very strong opinion, or these are all evidences, or given in the form of the context where author has said these things. Let us look, where are these things given? All right. It is important to send clear message to those who want to strangle the media. Rulers all must realize that there is an emergency for activists and journalists. The world needs independent media that can call out those that transgress their duties. The world needs to make show of solidarity with all those conscious journalists who challenge draconian laws and resist authoritarianism under whatever disguise it may come. So these two things are the option number 2 and 3. Option number 2 and 1 are being given here, right? How are they given? Let us see. Sometimes show of support is necessary to protect the principle. What does it say? The world needs to make a show of solidarity with all these conscientious journalists who challenge this. Okay, so sometimes show of support, solidarity. Author is asking for solidarity. So sometimes show of support is necessary to protect the principles. What principle? Principle of freedom of speech, freedom of expression. All such things are being mentioned. So this, in a way, is given. Next, the authoritarianism may come under more than one form. Yes, it is given indirectly. And resist authoritarianism under whatever disguise it may come. Under whatever disguise it may come means it can definitely come in more than one way. More than one way. One could be something which is on the face, and one could be something that is disguised. So 1 and 2 both are given. Let us see 3. There may be difference between reality and what many people perceive. This is from the context here. Democracy and freedom of press are facing increasingly adverse conditions, even in this time and age, when many had started thinking times of suppressing expressions were over. So this is given, it can be inferred from that particular portion, wherein people believe that suppressing the times are over when somebody can be suppressed. An author is saying that they are still getting suppressed. So there may be difference between the reality, that is people are getting suppressed, and what many people perceive, that in these times it is very difficult to suppress someone. So all three are right. So this I will say, I mean, I've not seen the performance of these students so far. Obviously, while recording, I don't know how you will fare, but this, according to me, is one difficult question. Question number 5, Maria Ressa and Dmitry Muratov from the Philippines and Russia respectively are representatives of all journalists, as the Norwegian Nobel Committee put it. What could be representatives of all journalists referring to? So author has called them as representatives of all journalists. What could this representative of all journalists, what could it be referring to? So also it's very clear. Author has told them that told us that these two people are kind of they risk their lives, and they are reporting or standing against the authoritarian government. So something of that sort should be the answer. Journalists who are representing their countries on various forums. A very, out of scope option, that it is for the journalists who are representing their countries on various forums. So nothing of sort of forums is given. B, journalists who are standing for freedom of press against the suppressing regimes. Something related to the essence of the passage. That's why this is the answer. Let us look at C. Journalists who are beacon of hope for us and for our future generation. Okay, true but irrelevant kind of thing. A scrambled option also picked up from various places and framed it. This is being talked about in the first paragraph, and this is given in the last paragraph. So something given in the passage but not relevant. Representatives are being talked about in the first paragraph. So that's B. Journalists who are winning recognitions and awards at world stage. So is it their representation that who are winning the recognition and awards at the at the world stage? These representatives are the one who are fighting the regime, and not who are winning the awards. All right. So this is again a tempting option, but no way related to what author's opinion is, and that is why answer is option number B. So that's it from my side. Thank you very much. So in this particular passage, although passage was difficult, but I think maybe a couple of questions you may have got wrong. Hopefully you must have understood that what mistake you have committed in the passage. That's it from my side. Thank you.